Hey, what's up? Welcome to this session on how to strike a snare drum. Now there's a bunch of different ways to tune a drum and several different ways to hit a snare drum, but for the purposes of this example, we're gonna approach hitting a snare drum from the modern rock worship context. In the middle of a big groove or verse or chorus or bridge groove, you're gonna hit that as consistently as possible with a rim shot. Now what that means is a rim shot is just you hitting the rim of the snare drum and the center of the head as close to the same time as possible. And so that looks just like that. It sounds a little bit like this. That's just a really classic sound. It's a big, cracky snare drum sound. We really tune our snare drums for the rim shot. It's not that it can't be used without hitting the rim, but it just sounds a little bit more punchy and out front when you hit a rim shot. So in order to hit a rim shot correctly, it has a lot to do with the placement, the height of the snare drum and the height of your seat and your body and where your shoulders and arms kind of fall naturally. Because if you have the snare drum too high, you might hit only the rim of the drum and miss the center. And if you have the snare drum too low, you might scoop into it and not hit enough of the rim. Now that didn't hit any rim, but the idea is just to show you an over-exaggerated perspective of the two ways to approach hitting the drum. So if you get this drum really comfortable in front of you in a way that your natural stroke of your hand hits the rim and the center of the drum head as close to the same time as possible, you'll accomplish that sound that we're chasing. There's a couple different ways to even technically approach hitting a snare drum. We can talk about it at a later date, or you can ask one of your instrument coaches at a Meta lab, but get the snare drum where it's comfortable, get your seat where you're comfortable, and really focus on hitting that crack of the rim and the center of the snare drum at the same time, and then groove and play with the click and just do it as much as possible. Another exercise that you might want to try is to grab the snare drum, pull it away from the kit, and just sit in front of it and just go over and over and over again until you feel like you're getting a consistent crack sound out of the snare drum, and put that back in the context of the drum set and you'll be good to go. If you have any questions about how to hit a rim shot or what it is that we mean, let's talk about it in person or ask one of your instrument coaches. But good luck. We'll try to help you on the way.